Hey guys, it's Jeff, WaywardCityGames.com. Today I'm joined with Jesse.
How's it going? What do you got for us today?
Today I have a fun deck for you guys. Deathx Turbo.
Sounds scary.
With a red base to make things just a little bit more interesting and more aggressive. So I have found in today's OTK meta that requires a lot of setup, whether it's Tamers with the Alpha or just quite getting all the pieces for Grandest, that the Turbo style deck can really punish and provide enough pressure to not let your opponent set up what they need to do. Shall we get into it?
Let's go.
All right, guys, so we're going to start with the level 2s. I'm playing 4 Gurimons. Now, I am torn whether or not to play a 5th egg, and I go back and forth. If I were to play a 5th egg, it would be a Demi-Mera. Let's start with the Guri. The Guri is a great level 2 that helps with our draw engine. This deck needs to get its cards as quickly as possible, so you can always have an answer to your opponent, or you can speed up quick enough. Let me show you a quick example of the draw engine that I'm talking about. You take a Gurimon. You throw on your Biomon, and then you also throw on a Dark Tyrannomon. That stack right there will net you 2 cards when you swing into security with that. Great little combo I found where, it really helps accelerate that card draw, provides enough pressure to your opponent. But we'll get back to the rest, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth as we go on.
Sounds good.
The Demi-Mera is just great for when you need additional DP. Again, I find you may not need that 5th egg. Just depends on the matchup.
What's next?
Level 3s. Level 3s. So let's talk about that Biomon that I had already alluded to. We're playing 4 of the EX1 Biomon.
EX1.
EX1 Biomon, great. I don't know if you ever messed around with Deathxmon, Jesse. But this was a staple in that, drawing a lot of cards early on for those decks that like to brick a lot. So I've decided to bring it back, and I've been really enjoying it in this. So basically, with my strategy for the level 3s is to have 2 engines. One to help me draw cards, and the other one to give me additional DP to provide enough pressure to my opponent. So for my next level 3, and this is a personal preference, am playing 4 of this of the starter deck 1 Agumon.
That's a popular boy.
What a great level 3, probably one of the best Red has ever given us, and I really don't see me outclassed any time. The reason why I bring the personal choice in is because I'm only playing 3 of the starter deck 7 Agumon.
Gotcha.
This one, a universal 1K, it's pretty nice when you want to swing into a body, right? And this one is great when you want to swing into security. So it really depends on your playstyle and your preference. I found personally that I enjoy the ST1 Agumon. And then I'm playing 3 more level 3s, and I am just playing a generic 2-cost mini Digimon in this case. I'm just so excited to use a different 2-cost.
And what set is that from?
That is from BT9. That is our most recent set.
Okay, I got you.
You got to use a new level 3, right, from the newest set.
Gotcha.
So that's 14 level 3s for those of you keeping track at home. Let's move on to level 4s.
Okay.
Level 4s, I'm playing another starter deck 1 staple for Red. 4 security attack +1 Greymons.
Never seen that before.
Right? So this Greymon just provides such a great pressure to your opponent. It really becomes a threat on board. Let's talk about the rest of our level 4, shall we? So this is a turbo deck. So 2 strategies with the level 4. Either get the additional pressure that you need to start scaring your opponent and attacking security for a bunch of checks, or turboing up to your next level.
And what do you mean by turboing?
What I mean by turbo is cheap evolution. So great thing about Digimon, vanilla cards do a lot in this game, right? You're talking about a vanilla card on this Dark Tyranno back from set 1, literally BT1, not just 1.0. A 6K, 6 play, but 1 to evolve level 4. Great way to start drawing cards when you need them. Great way to extend your turn. Great way to start building a big stack to really get up to this Deathx as quickly as possible.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm torn because usually I'd like to play 11 level 3s. So in this case, I'm playing 3 Monochromons. Another great option for turbo. 1 to evolve, but it also has the dual purpose of being a blocker. I'm torn sometimes because you almost would want to play the 4 Monocro and 3 Dark Tyrannos.
That's what I was going to ask you. Why don't you play the 4 monos to get that extra blocker?
Specifically for my draw engine combo.
Gotcha, okay.
Yep. So if you guys play this deck and you find that it's better off 4 Monocros, 3 Dark Tyrannos, please let us know in the comments. We'd definitely love to hear your feedback on that.
That's fair. What's next?
Level 5s. We'll just go up in the, normal order, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most traditional deck that we've, as far as Digivolving goes, that we've...
On the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun just to bring a normal channel video, guys. So this supports our strategy as well. Same idea as the level 4s with the level 5s, where we're going to go two directions. So we're either going to A, build additional pressure and aggression against your opponent by giving him security attack +1, or we are going to turbo up into our level 6 for cheap. I am playing 9 level 5s. 9 is just my happy number. You can easily do 8 if that's what you like in your number, but I personally would not recommend going lower than 8 in this deck. It does draw a lot, but you really want to see your pieces as soon as possible so you can build a really threatening, menacing stack against your opponent. So let's talk about why I picked Lava Garita and Skull Mara versus Groundermon, right?
Right.
So in this meta with Flame Hell Scythe, targeting 6Ks, I really decided to stay away from 6Ks with my turbo. Because sometimes you might just have to end your turn. It might be the best play to only give your opponent 1. If you're put at the 1, right? And then you respond giving your opponent 1 by digivolving into this level 5. So I wanted to be safe from Flame Hell Scythe, while still having enough power to where an opponent's level 5 or below, depending on what they're playing, would die if they hit this in the security.
It's also safe against my Chaos Dramon.
Also safe against our famous Chaos Dramon. If you haven't checked out that deck profile, please look at our channel. Great deck profile Jesse has given us on that. So that's my level 5, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next level.
And this is where things get spicy.
This is where things get spicy. So here's what's great about our game now. We finally have a bunch of dual color level 6s, which allow us to get to that point, right, where we can digivolve into unconventional level 7s like Deathx from Red. So you might be wondering if I'm playing Ultimate Brachiomon, and I definitely wanted to. That 13k, big body and security, only 3 to evolve. By the time you load them up with security attack +1 from the Volctramon and the Greymon, you give him 1, 2k more with the Agus. Huge threat on board. Ultimately, I decided in my testing that I preferred 4 of the Briary Ludramon. So even an older card, set 3, 1.5 for you guys.
Well, Ragnafodder.
Ragnafodder, exactly. Yeah, so what's great about this card is he is still 3 to evolve. He's a 12k body, so he's still, respectable. And by the time you beef him up with the Agu or whatever, he gets that extra DP. But he has the inheritable blocker.
I love level 6s with
level 6 with an inheritable, so you can give your Deathxmon blocker. Well, I mean, again, 2 strategies with each level. The strategy of the level 6 is to get to your Deathx, and in this case, making him a super menacing threat. He's already terrifying with his on play, with his wind digivolving, his end of turn ability. Now we're talking about making it a blocker as well. Now I find with this deck, and originally I was playing both the Ultimate Brachio and the Briary Ludramon.
Yeah, I remember that.
What I found was that I almost like the additional aggression that a card like Galmon can bring.
Absolutely.
The Galmon's so menacing. So now, I am not going to get the black when digivolving effect on this card. That's okay. I'm going to blitz the crap out of my opponent with an additional security attack. So by the time you build your stack with Galmon, the Greymon, the Volctramon, that's 4 checks into security with reboot and blitz.
For like 15 or 16.
15k, right?
15k,
whatever. No big deal, right? Very, very threatening. So I've, again, 2 strategies almost basically with each level of the deck. The level 6 strategy is mainly to get to the Deathx, yes, because Deathx can digivolve on both. Or you want to be able to provide the additional aggression, or the other option would be just building your stack, right?
Yeah, Deathx seems like a finishing move too. I mean, it's like that Gaiamon's already so good.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like the Deathx is like, okay, I'm going to basically end the game with the Deathx. How are you going to respond to me? Right, and I'm gonna put so much pressure early on with the Gal with my extra security attack +1. I mean, even the Briary Ludramon swinging for all those checks is nasty, right?
Yep.
So that brings us on way from our level 6s. Let's talk about 7s. So I'm sure you're not surprised by this point in the video what I'm playing, but I am in fact playing 4 Deathxmons.
4 of the villain.
So let me take everybody back to 1.0 days, Red Omnimon Turbo, right? Back then, you kind of played 4 Omnimons. Sometimes you played 3, depending on the deck. Maybe if you played blue, you played 3, right? But 4 was just such a threatening because you wanted to get there quick. You wanted to, be able to make it so, like, I have my big boy on field. What can you do about it, right? And it's just a countdown to your opponent's game of being over. So I'm running 4. Now, what's great about this level 7 is it's not always a dead card in hand.
Correct.
This card can be played for super cheap depending on what your opponent's setting up. Really can punish the Alphamon players when they have all their tamers set up. Can punish the War Grey players when they have all their tamers set up, right? The Metal Guru, same thing, right?
Rookie Rush.
Rookie Rush. Wonder who played that. So this is a really, really menacing level 7 in this deck. And for those of you who don't know what it does, it has a great on-play and a win digivolving effect. So it does the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Digivolve 1, all of your opponent's Digimon, and then delete all level 4 or below. And then, end of opponent's turn, delete your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Absolutely brutal card. 15k DP, buffing it up to 16, 17 with the Agu, swinging for 3 checks on this. What more could you want?
I think my favorite part of how this deck uses Deathxmon is the fact that, like, a lot of people in this meta, well, not a lot, but some people will play the Psychmon to try and counter the Deathx play.
That's a great point.
But it doesn't matter when you digivolve it, and that's what your deck does.
And they think they can get away from the Deathx just by playing Psychmons, right?
Well, especially with the new sets coming out, we're getting memory deniers for red and black in the starter decks.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think you're going to see those more, but this deck, it doesn't matter.
So we're down to the final 5 cards of the deck. Anyone want to guess what tamers I'm playing in the deck? You got an idea, Jesse?
Can't be many.
Not playing any tamers.
Yeah.
Don't want to let your opponent punish you. Right? So
I love these options.
The Fireball, for those of you who have not tried Fireball, outstanding card. Even if you don't delete a body, being able to draw 2 for only 2, very early in the game, as you're building your stack, your opponent's still setting up their board state, all that stuff, play Fireballs in the beginning. Just
Great
get
card,
all those
bad
cards
whiskey.
Get all those cards that you need in your hand as quickly as possible so you can go into your big plays. Or if you do open a hand of 4 Death X's turn 1, hopefully you get a Fireball to draw 2 to get out of it, right?
Totally.
And then this last option was actually an option that you really get me excited about.
It's so good.
Final Zubagon Punch.
I had to talk you into this one, but
You
I
did.
think you're
You
really
did have
going
to
to
talk
like it.
me into this one.
Yeah.
So this has been great. One of your Digimon gain plus 3,000 DP. Then, if it's at 16k, you get blocker, reboot, and security attack plus 1.
Until the end of your opponent's turn.
Guess what? You have to have a black to play this. But when are you really going to want to use this card?
Only on your 6s.
Only on your 6s or above.
Yep.
Right? So you're talking Braiwi, which will probably be at 13 if you set up the Agumon, when it swings at least.
Yeah.
Galamon's already at 13.
So he becomes 16.
So he becomes 16 with blocker. He already had reboot, but, security attack plus 1. And the Death X is at 15. So that final Zubagon Punch is really just to cap in your end of your opponent, give him security attack, give him blocker, give him reboot, anything you need to just shut down your opponent and punish their setup or punish the fact that they haven't finished you before, faster than you have, right? So that's it for the deck, guys. If you guys have any additional input, please let us know in the comments, and hang on one sec and I'll get you a nice laid out pretty picture of the deck. Yeah. All right, guys, here's the deck in all of its glory.
There it is.
Please let me know what you think in the comments. I'm super excited to hear some great feedback about this. I love building multicolored decks with an unusual top end that just really surprises people, takes advantages of the meta, etc. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Please stay tuned. We're going to have more deck profile videos, more unboxing videos, and some great promo codes coming up in future videos. And that's it for me.